All right, hello everybody. Welcome to Expert in the House. My name is Dan Doyle from Sydney, Australia. I am an ambassador Triple Diamond for a cellular health company called ASEA, and I'm also on the company's Global Advisory Council. You're going to hear a pretty incredible breakthrough tonight, something that could benefit you and your family in so many ways. There's a lot of reasons why people look at this breakthrough technology, why they want to hear about this company called ASEA and their incredible products, and I'm just going to go through those reasons. The first thing is that you may have a health challenge, so just think about what I'm going through here. You may have a health challenge yourself. You're somebody in your family, a loved one, a family member, a friend may have a health challenge. You may not like the way you're looking and feeling anymore as you're aging. You may understand the concept of looking after yourself as you're getting older and wanting to look younger and feel younger. You may be an athlete, or you may be looking for an opportunity. I'm sure something there resonates with you. And as I said, we've got a vehicle here that can take people back to health, to looking younger, feeling younger, living longer, healthier, and an opportunity, a financial opportunity as well. So I'm going to go through my story. I'm expanding on my story tonight and starting from when I was a very young age. And I'm going to go through that story. It's a story from health to getting my health, from no health to getting my health back, and even beyond that to financial freedom. And I came from being a very successful businessman to losing my health and unfortunately losing everything we had financially because my wife had to look after me. So I'm going to go through that story. Before I do go through that, I just want to go through the company disclaimer. So ASEA's disclaimer when it comes to these breakthrough products that I'm going to talk about, the ASEA, the Renew 28. These products aren't intended to treat, diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease or medical condition. So I just want to make that clear from the outset. So I'm going to get into my story. So this first time I'm starting when I was very young. This is a picture of me on the left. I was a very young boy, and my parents on the right-hand side holding my sisters, and there's me in the middle, not happy with my bell bottoms and my big collar with my white belt there. But we're a middle-class family. We grew up in the western suburbs of Sydney here, about 35 kilometres west from where I am here in Chatswood, near the city. And it was tough times. Anybody out there that had one or two jobs, it was difficult to get through those times with those minimum income and wages. My parents literally had 7 jobs between them. My father was a panel beater. He used to fix cars up during the week. He used to also have a second job at Blacktown Workers Club as a waiter. He used to come home overnight, get ready and go to work again after a full day's work from Monday to Friday. And then he used to buy smashed up cars, and he used to also fix them up on weekends and sell them privately. My mother, so that's my father, George. My mother, Teresa, God love her. She's a bit of a saint, putting up with my father for over 50 years. Mum used to work at Kmart, and she used to make our clothes, and she used to knit, sew, crochet, and sell clothes herself. She used to cut all our hairs and cut other people's hairs. She used to have multiple jobs as well, but they did the best they could do and gave us everything they could. With putting in the effort that they were doing with all the work to give us the best life possible. I thought at age 7 there in that photo with my parents that, what they were doing, it didn't resonate with me. I sort of figured out that I didn't want to do what they were doing. As I was growing up, I wanted to be a scientist. I wanted to be on the water police. I wanted to be... I just didn't want to do what my parents were doing with multiple jobs, looking after, 3 young kids. It was just something that I figured out at the time. Moving forward, I loved my sports. I played rugby league from the age 5 years old to the age 17 years old. This is a picture of me, bottom left, in the under-13s in 1980 with my father as a coach on the left-hand side. He's an incredible coach, actually. And so I love my sports. Around this time, I was also doing judo and gymnastics. And it was fun times. I said my parents did the best they could do for us, and Dad and Mum, physically got involved in everything that we were doing, from my father coaching us in rugby league, and my mother used to come to our fifth grade classes and teach us how to crochet, would you believe, all the boys at our school. So this was our life growing up. It's at the front of our place. There at Greystanes, out near Parramatta in the western suburbs of Sydney. This is my school formal, year 10 school formal. I wasn't putting on a smile, probably for two reasons. One, I had braces. And the second thing, I didn't want to go on to year 11 and 12, and my father was forcing me to do that. And I did go on to Parramatta Marist Brothers in year 11, and in August 1984, I approached my father and I said to my dad, George there on the right, Georgie boy, I said, Dad, I want to leave school. I want to get a job, and I just want to leave. And he said, well, that's fine. He said, you get a job that I like and I'll let you leave. I said, well, what do you mean a job that you like? I said, I'm the one that's got to work it. So I ended up getting a job in Westpac, and for several years I worked for Westpac from 1984 to 1991. I started as cleaning the coffee machines and typing up dishonor checks to teller and general hand overseas department. I ended up in the engineering department, which was an incredible job because I looked after, first and foremost in that department, looking after all the FPOS machines in Sydney for Woolworths and Coles when the machines were absolutely enormous. And I used to repair them or replace them. I had my own company car and a Philips phone with a cord. I remember driving around Sydney, feeling important at the age of 20, 21 years old. And then I ended up in the engineering department for Westpac, looking after several buildings in the city and having an office in every single building. So it was pretty exciting and it was big time for a 21-year-old to be in that position. I started in the bank on $4,000 a year and ended up on $40,000 a year. And $40,000 a year was a lot of money for a 21-year-old kid. But I made a decision at that point, at the age of 21, that I didn't want to work for somebody anymore. And I didn't want to work for the bank, so I bought myself a little franchise. It was called Australian Muscle, and it was a bodybuilding shop up in Newcastle. And I sold gym equipment. Actually, I didn't sell gym equipment at the time. I sold gloves and belts, supplements and aerobics gear and gym gear. And I started with a little tiny shop. It's probably not much bigger than this room that I'm in at the moment. And I expanded that business over years. I went into selling gym equipment in a little boutique gym and moved across the road, and I had the biggest bodybuilding shop in the country, and a big aerobics room and a gym room and a boxing gym. And I just kept expanding into other businesses, wholesaling gloves, belts to all the gyms in New South Wales, and going into a business wholesaling gym equipment, starting up a sports promotional company. I actually promoted the biggest bodybuilding event. It was an international event in Newcastle, the only international sporting event ever held in Newcastle, 2 hours north of Sydney here. So it was exciting times between the age of 21 and 25 years old. Little entrepreneur. I couldn't fail. I couldn't let my father down. I did the best that I could do. And, I just got into this pattern of building, selling businesses and companies over the years. So this is a picture of me in those times when I was in Newcastle back in the early 90s. And I ended up, competing in bodybuilding events. So I went from, playing rugby league and doing judo and gymnastics into surfing and aerobics, and started weights, and ended up a bodybuilder. So this was my life back in the early to mid-90s. 1999 came along and I met the love of my life, Suzanne there. And, we pretty well made a decision after 3 months of dating and being engaged to actually get married. This is a picture of me I was the one who went to the hairdresser and Suzanne didn't. And it was, we were ecstatic at this time. We got married and eloped and got married up at the Eagle Heights Hotel in Tamborine Mountain. So it was the best thing that's ever happened to me, meeting my beautiful wife. Fast forwarding to 44 years old, I still was a fitness freak. I used to go to the gym at 6:30 every morning. By this stage, I had around about 20 businesses under my belt, traditional businesses. I was fit and healthy. I wanted to be the fittest 50-year-old, as a 44 years old here, coming up to 50-year-old that I could ever be. And I really used to look after myself and do a lot of cardiovascular work. Wasn't doing so much in weights, but I just kept my body in the right condition, ate the right things, and did the right thing for my body. didn't realize right here in this photo in December 2010 that I was in a lot of trouble with my health. And 6 months later, in May 2011, the doctors gave me some very bad news. This is a picture of me with no hair from the top of my head to my toes. They gave me some really bad news, and they told me that I had two major issues that weren't going away. My second home was the Royal North Shore Hospital here in Sydney, and I was in and out of it for 2.5 years, going through what I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. I was putting on a fake smile here. This was a hero next to me, Johnny Manor, who played for Cronulla and Parramatta. And he'd been through those hospital visits that I had just started in this photo. And, he'd got through what he was going through at the age of 21. And the thing was, he had the good one, I had two of the bad ones. The unfortunate thing was at the time that after this photo, his came back and we lost him at the age of 23 years old. So that just goes to show how serious these issues were that we had at the time. At the end of what I went through, and the doctors told me to get my affairs in order, the 2.5 years, the hospital visits, I made a decision to take the responsibility of my health back into my own hands. And I started on an alkaline diet. I spent a lot of money through network marketing companies and their nutritional products, super juices, antioxidants, their alkaline water, and did the best I can to empower my body to heal itself. And while I was doing that, we were living in, for some time of our life, in my parents' granny flat in our backyard, because we came from being very successful to losing everything financially over that 2.5 years. And while we were living in that granny flat, we made a decision to ask my parents, because we were broke, for $25,000 to buy this van. And our goal was to see some of Australia, just in case there was a worst case scenario. And we started traveling the east coast of Australia in this van. So we borrowed the money. It was literally my father's van, really, at the time. We put the van in his name, just in case there was a worst case scenario. He would get the van back. But we started traveling. I kept on this alkaline diet. For 2 years, I was on this alkaline diet. And after 2 years, this was the result. So what you can see here is still a reflection of what was happening inside. My skin wasn't in good condition. I wasn't in a good place. My blood works were still heading in the wrong direction. So things weren't going well at all. I got a phone call from Bart Cotter on the right-hand side here in October 2014 when the last photo was taken. And he said, listen, I think I found something that can help. He was in Salt Lake City at the time. And I reached out to Mal Sword, who's on the left-hand side of me. And I said to Mal, listen, Bart Cotter's called about a breakthrough health technology. He's in Salt Lake City. Do you want to come over? Mal had a serious skin condition for over 40 years and spent over $100,000 trying to control it. So we both flew to Salt Lake City. This is in Temple Square in Utah in Salt Lake City. We met in the headquarters of the company called ASEA, and we were listening to the atomic and medical physicist explaining what this breakthrough was all about. Long story short, in just 3 hours, I'm literally expelling things from my body so fast they were coming out of my skin. In 12 hours, a 20-year caffeine intolerance had been handled. I used to get major discomfort around my abdomen if I had more than 2 coffees. I had 6 coffees on the next morning. And basically the lung damage from all those hospital visits, I was having trouble breathing and talking at the same time. My lungs were functioning perfectly within 48 to 72 hours. So the light bulb went on then, and I'm thinking to myself, well, we've got something pretty special here. Came back to Australia with Mal, kept drinking this product called ASEA, and just over 12 months later, I got some very good news. The doctors told me there was no sign of the 2 major problems that I had, and this is a photo of me just over 12 months after starting on this product, this incredible breakthrough technology which are hailing as the single greatest health science, anti-aging and sports performance breakthrough of our lifetime. So not only that, I had major injuries from playing sports, shoulder injury, neck injury, hand injury, pelvic, back, hips. All these things were playing up and turning into other things as people, normally get older. These things had all gone away in 2015, and my whole body was rebuilt top to bottom. If you fast forward to last year, so this is 2015, 2018. This is a picture of me and my wife Suzanne, looking fit and healthy. No problems, no issues at all. We've got an incredible life. This has turned our health around, but also helped us financially, which I will also talk about. Before I go into any of that, I just want to explain what's happening in your body, and then I can explain what these breakthrough products are all about and what's in them. So the body does have the power and the ability to heal itself. We've all got an immune system. When people get sick, they say to themselves, I've got to get my immune system up. I've got to get my immune system up. I've got to get it working. The truth of the matter is it's not the immune system that's the problem. It's the signals to the immune system to where the problem is. So I don't want to go too much into the science, but we have these little power plants in every single cell called the mitochondria. The mitochondria produces the energy for the cells. And I'll just stop sharing this. And okay. So as the mitochondria is producing the energy for our cells, what happens is there's a chemical reaction that takes place that changes the molecular structure of salt water in our bodies into these things called redox signaling molecules. Now, what these molecules are responsible for is to detect cells and then determine, signaling the immune system, whether to protect them if they're good, repair them if they need repair, or destroy and replace if they're too far gone. We all know the importance of antioxidants. Antioxidants are useless and they do not work unless they're activated by these redox signaling molecules that we're naturally producing. They're also responsible for actually reducing the oxidative stress in our body. That's when our bodies are rusting, when our bodies are trying to heal, recover, and fix themselves, but they're actually causing more problems than good. An example of that would be like the plaque that builds up in arteries that causes heart disease. That's oxidative stress. They also detect the bacteria, the virus, and the infection in our body. Without that detection, the body has no idea what these problems are. And they also are responsible for turning on genes. The other things they do, and we've got a fair few people on this call, and hopefully we've all got a heart. Do you have a heart? They are responsible for regulating our cardiovascular system, our digestive system, our endocrine system, our pancreatic system, our skeletal system, our bones, and also our 12 major systems, our skin. And without these molecules signaling to balance these systems go out of balance, and then we can have issues like sugar problems, as an example. This supplement here that they've created, what they've done is change the molecular structure of salt water outside of our bodies, made of medical grade saline solution, pulling the atoms apart of salt water over a 3.5-day electrochemical process, and putting those atoms together and creating these stabilized, balanced redox signaling molecules, the same molecules found in every single healthy cell in the body that signals the body to heal itself. It took 17 years. Science thought it was impossible, but this company, ASEA, has managed to do that. Now, you probably have children, and if you don't, you're like me, or you have grandchildren as well. As you know, children, grandchildren, kids under 12, all have an abundance of energy. They all heal and recover very, very fast. The reason for that is because they're producing an abundance of redox signaling molecules. So by the time we get to 50 years old, into our 50s at my age, we only have 50% production left. By the time we get to 70 years old, we only have about 10% production left. So a 70-year-old is healing and recovering 10 times slower than what they did at the age of 10 years old. We have a product that is 100% non-toxic. It's bioactive, which means it works as soon as it goes in because it's native to the body. It's what our body produces. You can actually feed this to a newborn baby. It can't harm anybody. As a matter of fact, it can have benefits for not just humans, but for animals and for plants. That's something that we can consume. Basically, the more we take, the quicker things happen. We've got another breakthrough in the Renew 28. This product here the molecules are suspended in 2 natural products. So we've got the molecules that we can apply to our skin. Anything you don't like on the outside, from wrinkles, saggy skin, whatever you don't like on the outside, even whatever you don't feel like, whatever's not normal from the inside out, they can feel on the outside. You can apply this to anything at all that's not right on your skin, and this can help support everything from the outside in. Prior to using this product 4.5 years ago, I used to be quite ugly. Now, that's the only claim that I'm going to make. Just going to have a quick drink of water, guys. So, we have what we consider to be the most powerful product on the planet. We have a topical gel which has got the molecules in it we can apply to our skin. We've got a small skincare range which has got a cleanser to prepare the skin for the molecules. We apply the Renew 28 all over body gel. We can put a serum on around fine lines which has got the molecules in it, and then we've got a moisturizer to support those molecules. Now, the redox signaling molecules are only one half of the story. You still have to feed your cells. You still have to eat. In saying that, if you stopped eating food right now and you kept drinking water, you would live around about 30 days. If you stop producing redox signaling molecules right now, you'd only have a few breaths left in your body. So in saying that, redox signaling molecules are only one half of the story. The other half of the story is what you put into your body. And just to briefly go through, we have an incredible multivitamin in the ASEA VIA range called Source. And that's a whole food, micronutrient, phytonutrient, superfood multivitamin. 90% of multivitamins on the market are synthetic, man-made. If you were to buy and spend money on the food, you need to get the nutrients out of that food with what's in this product over 1 month, you'd be about $600. That's a fraction of that price. So everybody anyway should be on a multivitamin, because we just can't get the nutrients out of our food anymore. 50 years ago, we had all those trace elements and minerals in our soils. We can't get that anymore because it's not extracted from the soils, because it's not there. The other thing is, because of pesticides and everything in our food, the toxins in what we eat, drink and breathe, we need something to look after our gut health, and that's a probiotic. This is called Biome. There's only a handful of companies on the planet that have probiotics with prebiotics in them. So a combination of both is going to work a lot better than just a probiotic. So just keeping that in mind, everybody should be on a probiotic. Life Max, the only way I could describe Life Max is the ASEA redox supplement keeps your cells working at an optimal level from a cellular, communication and signaling point of view, and from a nutritional point of view, this product keeps your cells working at an optimal level, and that's from an anti-aging point of view. So we've got some incredible breakthrough products. We've only got 8 products in the range. I'm not here to sell you these products, to convince you of anything, to sell you anything. I'm just here to pass on information. If you want to get on a product plan for your health, if you want to get onto a product plan to achieve whatever you want to achieve from what your body's going through, if you're an athlete and you're looking for an edge, for some more endurance, strength, quicker recovery, whatever that may be, if you're looking at looking younger, feeling younger with the anti-aging side, we have got the most powerful products on the planet. So basically, there's nothing out there that can touch or do what, especially the redox signaling molecules do for the body. It is foundational to our health. So in saying that, if I go back when I started regaining my health around about 4.5 years ago, I made a decision to engage in the ASEA's, the part of the company's business model. I was somebody who came from traditional business. I built over 20 businesses, as I said, in 20 years, very, very successful in traditional business until I lost my health. What I've learned now from this business model, word-of-mouth business model, network marketing, multi-level marketing, direct sales, whatever you want to call it, it is the most powerful, it's the most powerful business model on the planet. It is a breakthrough business model in itself. And ASEA has turned it into that because the company ticks every single box, from their ethos, principles and values, the compensation plan, from the leadership within the company, the owners running Fortune 50 companies in their life, right down to the leadership and the breakthrough itself. We have got an incredible company with an incredible breakthrough. We have a vehicle that can take you back to your health. We have a vehicle that can take you to financial freedom. 4 years ago, I made a decision to engage in the business side. We were struggling financially. The reason why we drove around in that van up and down the coast, not only to have a look at Australia just in case of a worst case scenario with me, but because we couldn't afford rent. It was dire straits. Things were that bad. And we were at the point where we couldn't put food on the table. We were living on a disability pension at the time, struggling big time from where we came from. So 4 years ago this month, I made a decision to engage in the business. Best thing we've ever done in our lives. The biggest regret people have, no matter why they enter into this, whether it be for their health or whatever it is sharing this with people from day one. You start sharing this with people, helping people, the company is going to be very grateful and they're going to give you thank you checks. If you don't want those thank you checks, give them to charity. If you do want those thank you checks, fantastic. It could help your life like it helped ours. So right now, we, especially for the last 3 years, we've been traveling the world full time. We've been to so many countries, South America. We've been to Central America, Costa Rica, Panama, Guatemala, Colombia, Chile. We've been to Jamaica. We've been to a lot of states in the United States. We've been to Spain, Malta, Ireland, England. We've been to a lot of places in Europe. United Arab Emirates with Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Doha in Qatar. We've been to Australia, New Zealand. We've been right around Australia. I went to Taiwan 4 times last year, Hong Kong, Singapore. This month I'm going to Thailand. We're going to Colombo in Sri Lanka and the Maldives next month after. We're relocating to the States so we can get to the world a lot quicker with sharing this breakthrough technology. Going to Cancun, Mexico in June. In July, we're going to the Bordeaux, south of France, through the vineyards, and also traveling through Paris. We're having a great time. If you told me we would be where we are now 4 years ago, there's no way I'd believe it, because I didn't have my health. It was just coming back, and we're absolutely flat broke. Whatever you're here for, don't hesitate to get back to the person who introduced you. Whether it be for the product or for the business component or for both, get back to that person and let them know that you're looking at improving your health or helping others, whatever you want to do with this. I thank you guys so much for coming onto this call. We've got to get to a great big conference we've got on the Gold Coast this weekend. It's not too late to get to that. If you're on this call and you haven't got tickets, highly recommend that. Corporate event on the Friday and Saturday. Tyler Norton, the founder, is going through the ethos, principles and values of the company on Friday afternoon. We've got an incredible day on Saturday. On Sunday, we've got all the diamond leaders of the company that's going to be presenting and doing different types of training on the Sunday. So guys, thank you for coming on, and hopefully we'll catch you all soon. Thank you so much.